I'm awarded a C# Corner MVP, and I generally work with ASP.NET Office 365 Solutions and Azure Solutions. To contact with me, you can email me on my email address or ping me on LinkedIn, or this is my uh, website address, or where you can get all the sessions I am taking and the blogs from my end. So today we are talking about Microsoft Power Automate error handling. So in this session, we are dividing the session in two parts. In the first part, we are recapping the details of the Microsoft Power Automate, because we are uh, taking lots of sessions of Microsoft Power Automate as a series. So we are trying to build this series in a hand by hand. So we are just recapping what we have discussed previously. And in the second half, we are going to show a demo where we are going to show that error handling thing for Power Automate. So let's start the session. So why Power Automate? That is the question we are always saying, and previously we are discussing that. So the first thing it's a seamless or secure integration it has. So we all know what is Power Automate. This is a component from Power Platform ecosystem, and this is previously called that Microsoft Flow. And this is a kind of business flow builder and something like that. So the important feature of this is this is providing a seamless and secure integration with all the other application itself. And there are scaling automation is provided by this. And recently they have introduced Microsoft Power Automate Desktop, which is an RPA supported application. And also one feature is accelerated the productivity. There they have provided more than 300 connectors, so it is very easy to connect with multiple inbuilt applications, and that saves us a lot of time. And this there is an intelligent automation process. Microsoft is in Power Automate. Microsoft suggests you to minimize the application or um, to upgrade the application with their intelligence support. So Power Automate can be used by business user or an experienced developer both. So this is Microsoft is saying that power user, so who have the domain knowledge and a little bit of IT knowledge, he can use it. So in the next, we are saying that Microsoft Power Automate has more than 300 app connectors. What are these app connectors? If you see in the screen, there is an Outlook, uh, Twitter, even Skype, OneDrive, and more other things. If it provides with Google and other applications, it triggers from there and it can capture and run the business, or even it can work as a scheduler and go to that application and access it and check like whatever that is. So it provides near about 320 built-in connectors to connecting the different service, and it is also enriching its connectors day by day. Supports both native and third-party services through these connectors. Means it is a Microsoft. Other than Microsoft ecosystem, it is supports a lots of third-party, as we are saying that Google and others. And it can create custom connectors as required. If you are needed and specific requirement which you want to create, so you can write the code and deploy that in Azure, and you can use that as a custom connector for yourself. So next is the different types of templates. So Power Automate is providing inbuilt templates, which are very efficient for use for an power user. So as you see, it will provide approval flow, which in this template you can have an inbuilt approval system, then button flow, where you can trigger the automate from an Power Apps button or in any other application button. And from Visio, you can trigger from email, mobile, from a specific notification, And from the social media, you can trigger these Power Automate. Also, you can see in the provided template, you can notify a team when an alert is triggered in Power BI. You can post in Twitter, as we are showing here. It is so notify a team when a tweet within a hashtag is posted. A specific hashtag is there, so it will capture that specific hashtag it is coming, and it will notify the team like, yeah, that post has been posted right now. And it have a complicated templates like this one, where you can when a file is created in OneDrive, start an approval in Teams. This default approval process will be established with this given template there. So these templates are making the applications or developing the applications more easier with Power Automate. So what are the attributes we are saying like this Power Automate? That is diversify triggers. So as we are discussing triggers, so we can uh, trigger the Power Automate from a different applications, even manually. If we want to trigger the Power Automate from a button or from our mobile for with a click, that is possible. The next is we can share this Power Automate like a document. So if you are in
Tahmid,
your, yeah,
sorry for the interruption. Presentationটা দেখতে পাচ্ছি না তো।
সরি, প্রেজেন্টেশন কি শো করছে না?
না।
জাস্ট আ মিনিট।
শো করছে। মানে
শো করছে?
ভাইয়া লাইভে দেখাচ্ছে না, বাট ইয়াতে দেখাচ্ছে।
কোথায়?
টিমসে দেখাচ্ছে।
আমি তো টিমসে দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
ভাইয়া আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি। হাসান ভাই হয়তোবা লিভ করে আবার জয়েন করলে দেখতে পারবে।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে,
আমি কি শেয়ার অফ করে না একবার শেয়ার করি সেক্ষেত্রে?
তাও করো, ঠিক আছে।
হাসান ভাই আসুক নাকি তারপরে শুরু করি। হাসান ভাই এখন দেখতে পাচ্ছেন?
আমি কানেক্ট হওয়ার চেষ্টা করতেছি। নতুন করে লিভ করে কানেক্ট হব। না, দেখা যাচ্ছে না।
রিফাত কি দেখতে পাচ্ছ এখন?
হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ, আমি কিন্তু দেখতে পাচ্ছি।
ওদের ফেসবুক লাইভে কি দেখা যাচ্ছে?
না ভাইয়া।
না, ফেসবুক লাইভে স্ট্রিমিং আসতেছে না। এখন আসছে।
আচ্ছা, আচ্ছা। সো আমি তাহলে কন্টিনিউ
হ্যাঁ,
করছি।
ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে। শিওর।
Sure.
সরি ফর দ্য ইন্টারাপশন।
No issue. Yeah, so we are discussing that there is different triggers, and it can be shared like a documents with your company, with other colleagues. You can just type the name and share it just like you sharing the documents in the OneDrive. And this is seamless integration with different applications. As we are showing, that is a different connectors, so you can just connect with them with your authentication as simply as that. And there is thousands of actions is provided. Actions means sending emails, providing taking approvals, sharing documents, and copying documents, lots of things. Provided actions are for as well as Microsoft product and non-Microsoft product as well. Like you can send email from a Google email, and you can read from a Google email just like that. So the next is the data connectivity. It is very much easier to have the connection. And extensibility mode, also built-in data platform and intelligence automation. So these are the attributes for which we are using Power Automate, and that is making our life easier. So yes, you can check like what is useful for you, and you have the use for the Power Automate. So next, there are different types of Power Automate provided by Microsoft, as they are providing new types of my Power Automate day by day. So the very much popular is automated flow, which is very basic automation is provided. So from a workflow where Microsoft provided basic automation. So that is also provided in this automation flow, approval flow, schedule flow. All those flows are under this automated flow, we can say. So this trigger, basically this differentiation is the trigger. So automated flows trigger is triggering in an automated connectivity from a specific application or connection. And next is instant flow. Instant flow is basically manual triggered and from a specific button from mobile and something like that. And the next is schedule flow. Schedule flow is more like an timer job or a scheduler where you can schedule it for a specific time of a day or 2 days, in a week, or even in a month, that on your call. So you can schedule it as that is. So next is desktop flow. This is we can say partially the newer edition. So though they have introduced into 2018, but they have basically updated it recently, and the RPA has been involved with this, and they introduced the RPA currently, which is for free. But yeah, you can try this out as well. And the last one is process advisor, which is if you are creating any flow or any process, you can integrate your Power Automate, and it will suggest you like this process is not sufficient, or this flow will fail, or this process should have been this way. So you have to provide some steps like your steps, actions, and directions from here, and it will give an built-in process to you to show to make it your life easy. So yeah, these are the provided options by Microsoft Power Automate. And now we are talking on our the main topic, like error handling. So for error handling, I'll go with direct demo session, which will help us to understand it more easier. So So this is the environment for me, and previously we have discussed like what is environment, what is solution, and etc. So I am using my dev environment for showing this demo today. So let's say I have created one instant flow. You say this is the we are discussing this is an instant flow. So let's say let's open it up, and what we are so the users, the persons who we know, like who we have used the Power Automate, we know that we have more like 28 days run history, or below 30 days run history here. So we can see like if your flow is failed or it is successfully run. So individually that is provided by default. And also if it is failing recurringly, uh, Microsoft will send you an email like saying the specific flow name. This flow is being failing, number of fail time, and the flow name. So it will not send you why it is failing. You have to come in the history and have to check like this flow has been failed for myself. Okay, so let's go and see why it has been failed. So I can see this has been ran today at 5:54, and the flow has been failed. So we have an error details here. The error action is compose failed. This is the action. So this has been failed. The error details is unable to process template language expression in action compose and blah blah blah. That's it. So this is the main thing they have provided, I think, attempted to divide an integer or decimal value by 0 in function div. So what I have done, like I have get and compose, and I have trying to divide 1 by 0, which is an infinite, and that provide giving that issue. So uh, how to get that issue, or how to understand which is there. So by default thing we are discussing, as this chart is there, like which flow has ran when and what is the status. Other than that, we can edit this chart column, like whatever the values there in the flows. So you can say add them to show, okay, this flow has been ran with this person, and that is the email address, and that is the status. So even let's say you are running your flow from SharePoint, and it is running for each and every item is been updating. So then if you run your flow, you will see here you can check like item ID, what you can get here. So if you check it and save, you will have your item ID here, and you will be easier to identify which flow has been run on which item. So this is the hack you can have very easily. And the next pointer is the analytics. So if you go in the analytics, it will show you the last 30 days updates, like the action, what is happened or what is not, and the errors. So for me, I have just created this little uh, couple of hours ago, so that's why we doesn't have updated here. It takes minimum 8 to 10 hours to update your actions. Then next is uses. So this will show how much uses you have done for this flow. So I haven't run for last 4 hours I have run, so it haven't updated yet also. And is this error? So it will show you how much action is giving error, which action, which trigger, error type, error details, errors by day, and errors by type, for which type it is giving the specific error or not. So these are the default things that Microsoft provides with Power Automate. But to understand the specific error or handle it, we have to identify the error first, right? So let's say for this error handler, we go and let's edit this one. So we have to identify from which error is coming. So let's say this action is a compose action. Here I have written this formula, I mean division 1 by 0, which is should compulsorily give an error. And after this, it will be giving error and it will terminate, right? So what I have done, I want to run, let's do one thing. Let's drop this. I'm not So let's run this flow and see what happens. Okay. So we have run our flow successfully, but it has been failed. So while it has been failed in generic, yeah, as generic message it is providing. And here it is in this compose, it is saying that it has been failed. But for an owner of this flow, I don't know, we cannot under knew like it has been failed, when it has been failed, why it has been failed. So we people want to have a notification like your flow has been failed, right? So to do that, I'm sending an email to my personal email address saying the failure of your let's say your flow has been failing. and the flow failed and something I have provided, which I'll describe later. Okay. So the trick here is as we saw before, like if it is failing this step, it is not running the next step, right? So we have to configure the run after, and in generic it is successful. If compose this action is successed, it will run the next this our send email action. But we do not want that. We want to run our email action if the compose action is failed. So we have configured it in that way and save. Next is, let's run the flow. Now we see it has been saying like your flow has ran successfully, because though it has getting an error here, it has thrown to the this statement and it has successfully completed it, right? So it should send an email to my personal email address. Let's see if had done that. Fresh. So you see it has sent me an email. Your flow has been failing. The flow failed and the other text which I have submitted. So we now we can easily send a notification to us if our flow got failed, right? And why the flow got failed. We also want to check that, right? So here this error message. What is that? Basically, I have already written this out like this action statement here. This is a by default state expression from here where you have to check the compose. So compose is this statement or this action name. So we are printing the full output of this compose, but inside the compose there is a element called error, and after inside the error that is a element called message. So we want the specific error message, so that's why we are running it in this way. Let's update and save and test. So this is the methodology of try catch. A very generic methodology we use in our development, product development, where this is the try portion where it is trying. If it is failing, it is this catch block is catching the error and sending an email, right? So we see if it has sent the newer email. Yes, it sent. This is the error message, unable to process template language expression in action compose input at line 0 and column 0 attempts a divide in intelligence and blah blah. That is the thing. So this we can understand how to handle or trigger the email for a specific error, but we are not running only one action, and it is not possible to add one email for each and every action, right? That's an disgusting way to go through. So what we can do, I have also write one email for flow for our showing you guys. So here it is. It is a try catch block. You see inside this try, we have only compose action, right? We can also add other statement as we need, right? So how to add this? If you search for scope, so you see this is the scope. So if you add a scope and inside the scope you can put your uh, actions as use. So all the actions for which I can get an error, so it will be posted in here. And as for previously, this block will run only if this try block is failed, or we can also have this timeout or even for some specific term. So done. So here what I'm doing, I am sending an email and saying the flow has been giving an error, and then terminating the flow saying it is failed. Otherwise it is saying it has been running successfully, right? That is not an issue. So let's try this out and see how it is works. So what will happen now? Any of the statement under this try block is gone wrong or gone timeout or anything else which is giving an error will be cached in our catch block, right? And it will send an email. You see, it has given an error like this has been failed. Now it came to the catch block, sent an email, then it said terminated because it's a fail. So I am saying it is failed and it is showing that failed. So what is the use of this terminate? If you go your history, you see now it is failed. Otherwise it was saying successful, right? So though it is not successful, so from here or from the analytics, you can see when it is failing or how much flow is getting failed. So let's see in our email if we got the email or not. Yeah, we got our email. So that way we can easily handle our that way we can easily handle this error and error handling. So other than that, we have some other expressions that we can run. Even we can use these as a template and capture the error as dynamically, which we'll discuss in our next session, that how to capture the error from any of this statement. Currently, what we are doing, we are capturing specific action statement, right? So in future, in the next session, we will have a discussion how to capture specific or which action has provided the error, and we can send that, and we will publish this as a template, and we will provide that in our in my blog as a template. You can download it and you can use it for your development as easily. So that was the today's things. I was trying to make it short and informative, and for today that is for all. Thank you very much. Bye. Hello, Assam
Thank you.
bhai.
Thank you, Tamit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Uh, Actually, I hope the audience will be helpful from this session. And thank you for